Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex. I'm gonna talk about Star Wars, all the movies, give my opinions on them. Now, I've only seen 11 out of 13. I've not seen Clone Wars movie or the Christmas special, if you want to count the Christmas special as a movie. Now, my very bottom movie might be a little controversial. It's not what everyone thinks. It's the Solo movie. Why the hell did we need it? It was not needed at all. If we wanted to know about a character from the original trilogy by their background prior to A New Hope, but after Revenge of the Sith, we could have gone with Obi-Wan Kenobi. We could have gone with Luke. We could have gone with Bail Organa, or even Leia, or Chewbacca even. I know Chewbacca was in the movie, but the movie was unnecessary. I know that there was a TV show made about Obi-Wan Kenobi, came out a few years ago on Disney Plus. I'm talking exclusively prior to Disney Plus, prior to The Mandalorian coming out in 2019, 2020. Either way, a decade ago. So, my 10th movie, if you will, 9 and 10, I forgot names of them. The last two of the most recent trilogy. What the hell the names are? They're bad. They were that bad. I can't even remember the names. And I love Star Wars. So, the only thing that I remember are the closing credits. Sad, spend $20 at least to go see them. On tickets alone. And I don't remember a goddamn thing. Weird. Awful. Now, my next two movies are interchangeable. They're way better than the last two movies of the trilogy. I'll start with the first one of the trilogy, Force Awakens. Out of 10, I give it a 7. It's 7 out of 10. Now the hate about Return of... My God! We get it! We know! That's staying in. So, Force Awakens gets a lot of hate because of the other two movies in the trilogy. If it was the first movie of the other two trilogies, it'll be idolized as the best thing to ever exist by either the old people or the generation above me. Now, next movie that I'm going to talk about is Phantom Menace. Outside of Duel of the Fates and Natalie Portman, what else is there to watch? Yes, I'm a little horny. I like Natalie Portman. Get off my ass. I want to be on hers. So, that's staying in. Screw you. So, next is Attack of the Clones. Speaking of Natalie Portman. So, I watch a war movie for the action, In my opinion, Attack of the Clones has more action than not Phantom of the Opera, Phantom Menace. The only action scene that I can remember in Phantom Menace comes in the last third of the movie, when Duel of Fates happened, and when Padme and them were fighting the clones. I get it. It's a slow movie. I don't have to assume every second is war. My 5th place movie is just like that, which is New Hope. Did I talk about Attack of Clones? If not, more action than Phantom Menace. So, A New Hope is just like Phantom Menace, but better. It's I don't know if it's just the fact that A New Hope is the first movie of the whole franchise, or it's just overall better. In my eyes, Phantom Menace and A New Hope are blue, but different shades. My point is that it's the same thing, but looks different. You understand? So my number four movie is Return of the Jedi. Now, coming off the heels of Empire Strikes Back, how can you follow that up? How do you expect to follow up the greatest by being better? You can't. You can't hold up to the expectations of what came before you. That's where I think Return of the Jedi failed. It's still great, but not better than Empire Strikes Back. Now, my number 3 movie might seem counterintuitive with how hard I was on Disney. Rogue One. I liked Rogue One. Majority of fans do too. It's just when people bash Disney, they talk about the trilogy and, being woke, all that stuff. I'm just here to talk about Star Wars. Now, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, did what Solo story tried to do. Make a prequel / sequel kind of movie, kind of a bridge between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Kind of like a bridge between those two movies. That's where I think Disney should explore more. Now, more like Andor and Rogue One. I'll give my opinion on Andor in a different video. So, back to Rogue One. The hallway scene, as many of you know, is iconic. Vader is a fucking diva. He only created the wind just to be a diva, if you will. So, I personally like the fact that they didn't go with the traditional opener in a Star Wars movie with the title call. I liked that. I like how they went in a traditional film way, not Star Wars way, When you boot up like Indiana Jones, for example, you don't get a title call. That's what I like about Rogue One, They took from kind of traditional media, if you will. Now, my number 2 movie is Revenge of the Sith. Now, I was talking about how... so, if you listen to the dialogue compared... so, Attack of Clones versus Revenge of the Sith. Just listen to dialogue. I admit it gets worse in Revenge of the Sith. Cringy, if you will. One example is the balcony scene between Padme and Anakin. He said, "You're so beautiful." Normal stuff, She said, "Only because I'm in love with you." He said, "No, only because I'm in love with you." That's 12-year-old stuff, by the way. 12-year-olds will say that. And that movie was written by a grown man with children. Grown adult children, writing that stuff. I do like... as I said, I watch these war movies for the action. At the end of the day, Star Wars is just a war movie set in space. The difference between Saving Private Ryan and Empire Strikes Back is that Saving Private Ryan was in France and Empire Strikes Back is in a spaceship. Speaking of Empire Strikes Back, it's my favorite movie in the franchise. So, By the way, my transitions are way better than Caitlyn Jenner's. I know, being a dead horse over a decade old, like her manslaughter charge. So, Empire Strikes Back is the best movie in the franchise, by far. If Revenge of the Sith didn't have the cringy dialogue and had the dialogue like Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith would be the best Star Wars movie, hands down. But it doesn't have the good dialogue. It has a cringy dialogue. That's why it's number 2. Number 1 is I forgot. Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is the perfect balance of the drama boiling over from New Hope and also the action that I was talking about, you know? As I said, war movies need action. War movies, like Empire Strikes Back, need a lot of action to, portray war. Now, I'm mixing up movies. The whole I Am Your Father thing was the drama boiling over from A New Hope, as I said. The action on Bespin felt like a little skirmish shoot scene in World War II, like the Battle of the Bulge, I'm like comparing millions of people losing their lives to a couple aliens with a microwave, just little skirmishes, little battles, I get it. Day in the life of a soldier or a magician with a lightsaber, you get it. So, if you made it this far and you like me enough, like, subscribe, and comment saying whatever you want relating to the end of the video. Make it relate to puppets. Alright?